Hey, I'm Nolan and I created this video. Now, I'll be taking you through how I created that. You're an Amazon seller and now you want to add a video to your listing. But maybe you don't want to pay the additional cost of getting one professionally done. Or you just don't have the time to wait. By the end of this video, you should have an idea of how to create your own product video from start to finish. All right, let's get into it. So first, let's talk about some pre-planning. I'm going to assume you already did some research and that you already kind of know what type of video you want to shoot. Before you do anything, ask yourself, what do you want to communicate to your audience? And what am I going to show in this video that's going to convince a potential buyer to add the product to their cart and buy it? So with that in mind, let's write down a few selling points because that's what's going to determine what kind of shots we're actually going to take. When you have those selling points down, get a rough idea of what shots you want to take because the last thing we want to be doing is getting to the shoot and then fumbling around not knowing what we're doing. As well, think about any props you need and where you're going to shoot the video. What kind of lighting are you going to need? Are you using natural light or are you going to get some artificial light? It's also never a bad idea to pick out the music ahead of time so that you know what kind of energy you're going to need to bring for that shoot. So here's a screen card of what you'll need to consider when pre-planning. Just to recap, you'll be going over your selling points, create a script and plan the shots, get your props, figure out your locations needed, get your lighting right, and if you want, figure out your music. It's worth mentioning that I used a pretty large white background for this video. Although you might not have access to this type of white background, I've shown how you can set up a budget-friendly one in a previous video. I'll leave a link in the description below so that you can go check out that video after you're done watching this one. Generally, you can find white backgrounds for about $1 or $2 in the craft sections of places like Walmart or other craft stores. So make sure everything is checked off the list and then we can head to the shoot. Here I used a towel which allowed me to slide the camera in and out very smoothly. As you can see, I'm getting a lot of different shots from a lot of different angles. Here, I'm using the Lazy Susan to rotate the item. I'm also doing zoom ins and zoom outs. The idea here is just to get a lot of material to work with in post-production. The white background shots show off the product and leave room for infographics that we can add later on. I also wanted to show the product in action, so I created a mini kitchen setup. I also went outside to show off one of the key features of the tumbler, which is insulation. I was able to just go outside of my office and film this, but you may need to travel to a location to get the right shots. For example, if you're selling sunglasses, you probably need to get some shots of a model outside wearing them on a sunny day. You may even have to go to a beach or park, depending on what you're going for. Let's talk about post-production. So for post-production, you're gonna need a video editing software. I'm going to use iMovie, which comes with a Mac, but if you're on PC, you can use a software like Filmora. Okay, let's jump in. Okay, as you can see, I've uploaded all my raw footage to the My Media area of iMovie. You can just drag and drop these clips onto the timeline, and this slider allows you to zoom in and out on the timeline. So with this clip, as you can see, it's 30 seconds. So I'm going to clip it by pressing Command B, and then I can press delete on the rest of it. So this is a really efficient way to just get the part of the clip that you want. I'll Command B and then delete again. As you can see, I'm checking the flow of the video, seeing if it makes sense in sequence. Again, using this hover feature just to figure out what's happening in each little clip so that I can quickly increase my workflow. Right now, I'm just looking for a clip that the cup is relatively in the same place in the next clip. Now let's talk about cropping real quick. So with cropping, there is a cropping button up top there, and this will allow you to not only crop inward, but you can crop, or rather
do zoom ins and zoom outs. So we're going to use the Ken Burns, and this will help us to do a zoom out. I'll place the start area closer in so that it's focused on the bubbles, and then I'll put the end with the full clip so that we zoom from the bubbles to the full clip, and we get this kind of cool effect. Next, let's look at transitions up top here. We can drag and drop those transitions in between clips, and you can kind of preview how they're going to look. As well, if you double click, you can edit the duration of each transition, just depending on how quick you want to get to the next clip. Again, I would recommend experimenting with all of these different features. You never know if a quick transition is going to look good or a longer one. You don't know if a certain zoom in might work here or not. So again, it's going to take some time. Don't rush anything. See what flows together. Check out the different transitions and just experiment. But these are the main techniques that I wanted to highlight that will enable you to create your own video. So the other thing I wanted to talk about was the audio aspect to this. So you can upload your song to the My Media area and drag it below the clips. In this case, I'm using a sound effect, but it's essentially the same concept. Now I'm using Command B. Again, I'm scanning through it, finding the best point in the sound clip, and then Command B, and then deleting the part I don't want. So just lining it up there. As well, what you can do is right click and press detach audio from a footage clip, and if you didn't want the audio, you can it'll send it to a separate channel, and then you can delete it if you don't need the sound.
All right, so now we have the rough sketch for the video, but we need to add some infographics. And this is where Canva comes in. Let's jump over to Canva so that I can show you how to create infographics that will help us to finish off the video.
Okay, so just before we jump into Canva, I'll just mention one thing. Before you do jump in, you want to identify which clip you actually want to add the infographic to, and just kind of estimate space-wise where that infographic would actually go. So for this one, I'm thinking I will put an infographic right around here. So what you can actually do is you can maybe like screenshot this and then upload it to Canva so you can have exact results. But I'm just gonna kind of estimate just for the sake of time. So we'll minimize this. And so when you're doing an infographic, what I recommend doing is 1920 by 1080 pixels, because that is like the size of the average screen. And then we won't have any discrepancy when we're moving the infographics over or anything. So let's grab a text, add a heading, and then we'll put the ultimate drink tumbler. Now I could go ahead and make this as beautiful as I could, but for the sake of the video, I won't go into a ton of design or anything. The main point is just to show you how the rough idea. So if I have this infographic, right, and the cup was relatively here, that's why I'm saying if you uploaded a screenshot of the clip, then you would see exactly where the cup is. Like you can upload it and then drag the screenshot, so you can be a lot more accurate that way. So now that we have this, what I would do is obviously, maybe put a square behind it as like kind of a background, or edit the font or anything. But for right now, we're just going to keep it really simple. So this is going to be my infographic, the ultimate tumbler. What I'll do is I'll hit download, and then I'll hit transparent background right here, and then we'll download it. So now that we're back on iMovie, let's check out how we can add this infographic. Like I said earlier, for the sake of time, this infographic won't be anything beautiful, but I'm just trying to show you how you can create one on Canva, then add it to the video. So obviously take your time with these when you're doing it for your own product, and experiment a little to get the best results. I'm gonna even go back and fix these a bit later. I just wanted to show you how this process works. So once you've added the PNG file to your My Media part here in iMovie, it may appear as black because the background is clear and the words were black. So it may appear as black, but there's words on there, trust me. So we'll grab this file, and what we're gonna do is just drag it right on top of the clip that we want to add the infographic to. And we can see it shows up here. Now it may be a bit long. As we can see, it's kind of going into the next clip. Now that might not be a bad thing. That might just be a creative choice, but just for the sake of time, we'll keep it to this one clip. Now we notice it's moving. It kind of looks cool moving with the lazy Susan there, but what we can do is clearly somehow it's automatically clipped to this Ken Burns, which makes it move. So for this case, we'll just do fit, unclick this, and now it shouldn't move. There we go. Okay, so there you go. That's how you add infographics to your video. Like I said, you can go experiment and make them much more beautiful than this. This is just the quick way to get things done.
It's just a rough idea right now, and it may not be representative of what the final cut is gonna look like, but the whole point here I wanted to show you is the different techniques that you can use when creating your own video. All right, time to check out the final video. Now that you have your video, let me quickly show you how you can add it to Seller Central. Let's jump on Seller Central and I'll show you how to directly upload it to your listing.
Once on Seller Central, you can go to the Inventory tab and then go down and press Upload and Manage Videos. You'll press Upload Video. Now you can either drag and drop or press the Upload Video button and it'll cue you to find the file on your desktop. I have mine, so I'll just drag it right there. For the title, keep it relative to your product and feel free to throw in a keyword if you can. As for ASINs, if you're brand registered, you'll put the ASIN under the brand part. If you're not brand registered, put it under non-brand. There's also the availability to upload a thumbnail, so if you have a nice screenshot from the video or you took an image during the shoot, you can upload it in the thumbnail area. So for this one, maybe I'll just put insulated tumbler mug. Put those ASINs there. Again, you can replace the thumbnail and then hit submit. Now you'll just have to wait for Amazon's approval. If for whatever reason it gets rejected, they'll let you know why and you can make changes accordingly. But that's how you do it.
Conclusion time. So hopefully that gave you an idea of how you can create your own DIY Amazon product listing video. Here at AMZ One Step, we create top quality professional videos that are guaranteed to look amazing. So if you want a professional looking video, get in contact with us. I'll leave a link in the description below. If this video was at all helpful, please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing as it helps out the channel.